Yeah. Oh, I can't help dancing. Hey, great to be back, Dr. Chris.
Indeed, man. Indeed. I agree, man. It's great to be back with you as always. We're here another week to talk about some wrestling.
Yeah, we missed a week. We were on that special assignment that we can't talk about.
Yeah, man. It's you still got Mike Chioda trapped in that room over there, man. From weeks ago, and I mean from months ago. He's still over there.
Yes, he's still there, but unfortunately, we're not free to talk about why we weren't on.
It's confidential. It's classified. It's classified.
All right, so
let me talk to you.
Yeah, Cody Rhodes was on NXT tonight. Now, if you're watching this after the fact, we're talking about June 11th, and he gave some information out that he was allowed to make this announcement that next week there will be a 20 or 25-man battle royal to decide Trick Williams, the NXT champion's next challenger. And he did say that there will probably be people from other locker rooms here.
Okay.
So that makes me think that they may be moving forward with not just WWE and Raw, but with TNA.
Yeah.
I have a feeling this crossover is going to gain momentum. You know, recently TNA let go of a lot of people and they're restructuring their entire organization. TKO may be doing this thing of, you know, I don't know why your company, WWE, never really crossed over with other promotions, but why aren't we doing this? It's a different mentality. So seeing how well Jordan Grace had gotten over, and Ethan Page is a former TNA champion as well, if I remember correctly.
Tag team champion.
Yeah. What's that?
TNA tag champ with Josh Alexander. They were the North.
And Dana Ash by Elegance. They never said the whole name, Dana Brooke. But
it's Dana. It's Ash by Elegance.
Yeah, I would say that. So I think that they may be moving toward that direction of more crossover, and I for one, I like it because you can the TNA to me because of their smaller TV universe, is not a major threat to do business with, so to say, than where AEW might be. What do you think?
I absolutely agree. As far as just TNA not being any type of competition, the WWE is not hurting whatsoever by and incorporating TNA in their NXT lineup. not.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
they're not hurting at all. I think it's good. I think it's a good move. I also think that it's more of. I do think it's more of a. I don't think TKO is really involved in a lot of this.
Maybe probably not, but
yeah, I think that it's more of. I think it's
I
more
think
of
they don't
like,
mind. Vince would have just said no.
yeah, you sure? I mean, I don't think they even really care. I mean, honestly, I don't think they really know too much about it. I do think that this could. I mean, here's the thing, Bill. This could be a matter of the fact that TKO is looking for them to make some changes within those USA numbers.
Yeah,
I mean, the thing is, TKO is not a pro wrestling business. Ari Emanuel is not an avid wrestling fan. This isn't a mom and pop business anymore. Those days are over. So they're looking for numbers. They're looking for dollars and cents. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense, Bill. And that's the thing. And at the end of the day, they're going to look. That's what they're looking at. They're looking at metrics. How is this good for business? And if they're looking at just constant numbers that aren't really growing in USA, they're like, okay, well, we've got to make an opportunity. We've got to make some changes when it comes to these numbers. Dare I say, Bill? Or hey, NXT may get pulled off as a brand because there's nothing that NXT is doing to help numbers when it comes to WWE.
And it's too bad because did you see the pay-per-view?
I did watch bits and pieces of it. I have Peacock, so I watched the ladder match. I watched bits and pieces.
Incredible.
And I really like Trick Williams, and so I watched the end of it, the main event.
Me too. And
I watched a little bit of Jordan Grace and Roxanne Perez. But here's the thing, man. It's a pet project for WWE. There's nothing about NXT that brings in numbers. Nothing at all. It doesn't help the business at all. It's like an ROH in a sense to AEW. Does nothing.
Well put. Yeah. By the way, Final Boss engaged. I'm not chewing gum. I'm tic-tacking.
Tic-tacking. There you go.
Or Teddy Long on our time machine says Bill is doing tic-crack. It's tic-tac.
Wow.
So, but getting back to this,
So it's a pet project. You know what I mean? So it's not doing anything to the numbers. Tony Khan doesn't have ROH. Basically affecting wrestling numbers or ratings because it's behind a paywall. It's not even affiliated with the company. But when it comes to TKO, though, they're just looking at metrics. They're looking at dollars. And at the end of the day, if NXT on USA is not bringing in numbers, you've got to make some changes. Or again, dare I say, we may pull it off. We may pull the project off completely. So
isn't NXT moving to? Is it the CW or Fox?
It could. I mean, you may know that. For me, I'm not sure. Right now, it's still USA.
I think they're moving at this point.
But regardless of what networks they're with, it's still not doing anything to really bring in, numbers as far as just dollars are concerned. And so I do think from a TKO standpoint, heck, they could be telling WWE, hey, we're going to pull this if we're not seeing some big changes. Someone said it's going to CW. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, it clearly goes from USA to CW, so that's a bit of a downgrade when it comes to popularity is concerned. Not too much though, but
it's probably a good money deal.
Yeah, so which is good. But at the end of the day, if they're not pulling in those ratings, they can be pulled off. And so to me, I think that the WWE is basically saying, okay, cool, we'll be sure to go all out to see what we can do to pull in some buzz, and they have been. They have been getting some buzz. Yeah.
This is good. I think this is good for everyone.
Mhm.
And there's a buzz in the air that NXT might not have had without it.
Sure.
Like kind of an invasion. Because again, Ash by Elegance was shown, so something's going on. Maybe maybe their own TNA versus NXT series.
I'm interested in that only if you don't make it as contrived and making it yet another invasion angle. Like there's invasion angles.
Oh no, I agree.
Death, man. It's just
I agree.
Yeah. So just
Although
I like the spontaneity. I like the just incorporating TNA within the NXT lineup. I like that. I do like that.
Yeah, I'd like to see Moose from TNA against Trick Williams.
Sure. Yeah,
I think that would be a very intriguing match. So last time we were on here, I was grouchy about something.
Okay.
And by the way, my Twitter handle is no longer at Apter One Wrestling. I was hacked.
Oh no!
I've lost all my followers.
What is it? What happened?
It's gone. So it is now at the Apter Chat.
At the Apter Chat.
Right. And I'm also on TikTok now too.
Yes, indeed.
Getting a lot of numbers on TikTok. But yeah, I was hacked the same day Hulk Hogan was hacked.
Hulk Hogan was hacked too?
Yep. Lost all his followers.
Wow.
What is a whole bunch of people hacked on Twitter. I clicked something I shouldn't have clicked, which I never do, but this seems so legit. It said that there was a copyright infringement. And
I've heard about that. I have some friends who are in the media business, pretty well known, and they said that they did the same thing, clicked on the copyright infringement, and
So now, let me show you something. Well, we've got everybody watching here, so I can let them know not to click on this copyright infringement thing. Hang on one sec. Let me find this. Here it is. Apter One Wrestling, this account doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, wow, that's horrible, man. That sucks.
So, all right, but what I was going to bring up is that
what is it again? So I can give you some
the Apter Chat.
The Apter Chat. Okay, let's see. I'll change it here in a minute.
Okay.
The Apter
We'll just leave our names up there for right now.
I'll change it.
What I want to talk to you about, though, and everybody out there, and I was complaining about this last time we were on, too. The wrestlers have to be able to, and creative has to be able to live up to the hype that the videos that are made to make people look like killers and real monsters. The talent's got to live up to this. Now, I unfortunately I missed your show with Vince Russo last night, so I don't know what he said, but I would imagine he said the same thing that I'm going to say now. What the hell are they doing with Bron Breakker? They make him a total monster in all the videos and all the promos. And here he is against Dragunov, who's a good wrestler, but nowhere near the size or anything of Bron Breakker. And Bron Breakker gets hit once or twice. He's like, it's like a Brock Lesnar getting, beaten up. And that match last night, I know they had a commercial in the middle of it, but he got his butt kicked by Dragunov for 80% of that match. So again, it does not live up to the hype that the videos that they're making on Bron Breakker and also the videos that they're making on the Bloodline, on Haku's sons. They're not living up to this. Well, these guys are killers. They came out of, they're Haku's sons. They're the toughest people there are. Bron Breakker is the son of Rick Steiner, one of the, deadliest men in pro wrestling and all that. And they get in the ring and they're getting their butts kicked.
Yeah.
What gives? It really bothers me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm 100% with you there. We talked about this
Did Russo
previously.
say that as well last
Um,
night?
yeah, I mean, we've been talking about that on the show, but you and I talked about this last week too, as far as
Yeah.
um, I mean, I don't understand it. I don't understand the fact that last week, I mean, last night I mentioned on the show, you're writing off Ricochet. There's absolutely zero reason to protect Ricochet whatsoever. So
Mhm.
why in the world would you have him punch Bron Breakker, have him flip over the guardrail rail,
Right.
and have a little bit of backpedaling on someone you're about to write off? Why would you waste another segment? Write Ricochet off
Get it.
while he came on the ring. Have Bron Breakker absolutely crush Ricochet, but it just goes to show how 3 hours, man, is really affecting just the product as a whole. It's making it feel contrived, it's making it feel stretched, because you have to waste another segment to write off Ricochet, and it was a
See,
lame
and
write off
also
anyway.
Braun Breakker to me was supposed to be Goldberg, the
Mm-hmm.
modern day Goldberg. Get
Yep.
in there, the Mike Tyson one punch knockout. Get in there, do 2 or 3 minutes, give him the spear. Is it the situation where they don't want to kill off the talent? I mean, they couldn't have done that with Dragunov probably because it would have killed him off maybe. So why put him against Dragunov? Why not put him
Exactly.
against?
Why have him go against Dragunov? That's my thing. Like, why can't you have him go against someone like Akira Tozawa or something like that? Like, there's so many people that you're paying on the payroll backstage. Look at
Right,
the
Tozawa.
entire look at the entire speed tournament bracket. Like, he could go through the entire speed tournament
Everybody.
bracket
Right.
and plow and crush
Yeah.
everybody. Like, his thing, like, you could have Bron Breakker just completely obliterate and destroy the whole
Right.
speed concept. Like,
Ronberg.
everybody on the speed, he just
Right.
like he wins all the speed matches. He just completely destroys everybody in less than a minute. Okay, you want a speed champion? Boom, I'll be your speed champion.
And you know
I
what?
don't
They
need
talk
3
about
minutes.
how
Give
they
me
talk
10
about his
seconds.
speed. They
Yeah.
talk about his speed. They
Yeah,
say, look at the
exactly.
speed when he comes off the ropes.
Yep, yep, yep.
And he's still leaning on well, this is what you're going to get for not putting me in the King of Ring, but we're not getting what he's supposed to be
Yes,
preaching
100%
at
agree with
all.
that. Yes, I
Really?
agree. I agree because I do think it's a matter of protecting the wrestlers, but again, man, it goes back to, first of all, that's the reason why there was enhancement talent back in the day. So there wouldn't be any
Right.
50-50 move, 50-50
Right.
booking. Just,
Right.
you feel like you have to protect every single person, and the payoff, it lessens or it dilutes the impact of the payoff if your goal is protecting both people so much.
Exactly.
Someone's
I
got to
agree.
sit back. Somebody's got to sit back in this angle. And the thing is, if your point is putting this person over, you can't put the other person over to, at the expense of lessening the impact of putting the other person who want
Yeah,
to over.
yeah, yeah. And I wanted to see him quickly, within a few months, get like a championship match with
Mhm.
somebody
Yeah.
and beat them. But I don't have that. Or is it the thing where they're saying, well, he just got here, he kind of has to pay his dues. But the videos bringing him in are like nobody's going to be able to beat this guy. He's the next big. He's Brock Lesnar. He's
Yeah,
Goldberg.
and who the heck cares about paying your dues? Like people like wrestling fans don't give a crap about someone having to pay their dues. Wrestlers are characters in a comic book come to life.
Yeah.
That's like saying the X-Man, Stan Lee is saying, "Oh, Wolverine's got to pay his dues first," or comic book
Oh, sure.
writers are saying,
Sure.
oh, Batman's got to pay his dues for. No. The perception of Batman is that he's a hero defeating villains. That's the perception of Batman.
The one
Yeah,
guy they're playing
but
right at this point is Chad
Chad
Gable.
Gable, yes,
They're
yes.
playing him so right, and he's so good. I know I brought that up before, and this whole thing with Otis obviously is going to explode. So I hope they're smart enough to have Gable beat Sami Zayn. So now we set up Sami Zayn. We set up Chad Gable against Otis at SummerSlam for the title.
See, okay, so I agree that they're getting Chad Gable right. You know why they're getting Chad Gable right? Because Chad Gable has been wrestling less, and he's been more of a stick man, having people do his bidding and things like that. And I think the very fact that we're not getting an abundance of him in the ring, it's making it feel more special with him in the ring. I think that's helping his character.
Absolutely.
You don't have to wrestle all the time. He's like some type of cult leader. And the last time he's wrestled was the King and Queen of the Ring. That was the triple threat. That was May the 25th. So that was a couple of weeks ago. You know what I mean? So they're not having him be on.
So they're enhancing his non-wrestling character.
And that's what's making him over, though. Because like if the thing is, if he's cutting promos and then having 50-50 matches, that's going to kill the perception of him being a monster heel. Like the very fact that he's out there and the majority of his presence is basically being a cult leader in a sense to the Alpha Academy, that makes him feel bigger than what he really is or what he was perceived to do. If you're doing all these promos just to lead to some random tag match on a Raw, that's not really going to help his character. The fact that he's away from the ring is helping his character. And I think that's the problem with Bron Breakker. You're putting him in matches, but still want him to be booked as a killer. I mean, it doesn't make sense.
Somebody had asked why haven't they done anything for what he did to Ricochet? I'll tell you my opinion. In my opinion, they could have fined him or banned him or whatever, but by that point, Breakker had already been beaten up pretty much by Ilya Dragunov. Yeah. So it wasn't believable. He had to get Ricochet outside the ring by a car to make this whole thing mean something.
I think it was a wasted, stretched segment. I think it just felt weird. It felt contrived. I don't really think it helped Bron Breakker much at all. I think he should have just completely destroyed Ricochet.
I agree. And I think Ricochet, everybody's talking about him going to AEW. You know what I think?
What's that?
I think he might go to TNA. Why not?
I don't think so. I think he would shine brighter in TNA. But I do think that he's willing to be a shiny new toy of Tony Khan for two reasons. One, because the money's probably significantly better than it is in WWE. WWE probably offered him another deal. He's probably got some friends over at AEW. Come over here.
Kenny Omega. Will Ospreay is dying to wrestle with him.
Yeah, we'll wrestle him again because they went viral with the match that they had a few years ago. So I think what's going to happen is AEW's money significantly more to bring him in, to make him a shiny new toy. They'll do that. He'll have a match. He'll have a rematch against Will Ospreay. That'll be, Dave Meltzer will be birthing 7-star babies. Yeah, he'll get it. He'll get a conniption fit, and have a 7-star fiasco and fest with it. Yeah. And so he'll get happy about it, and then all of a sudden, just like Tony Khan's other shiny new toys, it'll get dull. You'll probably see a match with him and someone from ROH on Collision, and there you
go. That's where does he show up next? Right, exactly. Right. Where does he show up next? One of the things that I brought up on Time Machine that hasn't aired yet, Do you see any similarity, and maybe physical or anything, between Jordan Grace and China there? When I looked at Jordan Grace, I said, with the whole muscle thing and all that, she just kind of reminded me of the China type of character. Do you see that at all?
Just a prototype of China, but China was a lot taller too.
Oh,
Um,
I'm talking about her whole characterization, so to say. Do
I
you
don't
see it
see
at
it.
all? Okay,
No,
okay.
I think she's a lot smaller. She's a lot better in the ring than China was.
More
But
versatile. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, she's good. I mean, Jordan Grace is really good in the ring. China
yeah,
did what she was supposed to do, but at the same time, she wasn't. Not everybody's known to be a good wrestler. That's why I just don't understand that when it comes to pro wrestling nowadays. Everybody has to have a 5-star match to be relevant. That makes
right.
no sense to me. I
Not
mean,
at
like
all.
Trick Williams was. I mean, this is the same person that people organically pushed, and made a star, aside from Carmelo Hayes. And the whole whoop that thing era, the chant, Booker T getting behind it. It's infectious. There's something going with that. And this is the same crowd who I've seen recently talk about, and Meltzer said something about this too, as far as him only having a 12-minute match or something like that, and fans getting behind the fact that Trick Williams, only had a 12-minute match, and the 20-minute match is, for some odd reason, that puts you over now because you have a 20-minute match.
Mhm.
It's bananas to me. Like, if you
I
think of
agree. I agree.
Hogan and Andre, Warrior and Hogan, like, I think Savage and Steamboat was only like 14 and a half minutes at WrestleMania 3.
Something like that.
So
Something
when
like
do you have to have a 20-minute clinic to be over or liked? And now the fans are turning on him because he's not wrestling as much or as technical and stuff like that. I don't get it,
You
Bill.
brought up something. You brought up a name, Carmelo Hayes. Why did he go from NXT to the main roster to get beaten every week so far? I don't get it.
I mean, that's just about
I don't
everybody
get it.
that's
I
come
just
from
don't get
NXT.
it.
Yeah, I mean that's normal. Unfortunately, look at Lyra Valkyrie. She won a couple matches that surprised her going to the finals of the King and Queen of the Ring, and now
Yeah,
she's in a losing streak. You know what I mean? So I
yeah.
mean,
But you feel
it's
kind of hope for her that she's losing like this. But with Carmelo, it just seems to me like he's losing, and maybe there's no hope.
there's certain people, man, that it's a small pond, it's a small field, it's a small area in NXT. NXT is an indie company on steroids, man. It's a smaller crowd, good production. They're really forming a lot of characters right now in NXT. And so you still have that smaller crowd feel. So you have the ability to really create stars in that feel. But when you
Yeah,
come to the main roster, everything's television production, everything's formulaic. So
mhm.
that's a death knell to a lot of those NXT characters because they just get assimilated and kind of flatlined just within everybody else. They just
who
feel like
who
one of thing.
stole who stole from who here? We got Swerve Strickland. It's his house. And when I watch Trick Williams, it's his house. Who's who stole those lines from who?
Yeah, I don't. Well, it's not Trick's house. Is whoop that Trick, and so that's
Yeah,
that's
it's
a
with that
that's a big
trick,
thing.
but
Yeah, I don't
it's
think
very
anybody
similar.
stole. I don't think
Okay,
there's.
it's
I
very
don't think
similar to
either
me.
stole. No, I don't think anybody stole anybody. It's just.
Okay,
I mean,
just
it's
seems
just
a little.
it's Swerve Strickland saying whose house. He's been saying that for years,
Yeah,
and
yeah, I know.
it's Prince Nana doing a really funny dance that really had a lot to do with putting Swerve over the way that he
Oh,
is.
that's so great. That's so
Yeah,
great.
and I think with Trick Williams, you've got fans who just really infectiously liked him. He looks like $1 million. He's got charisma. His theme song is amazing. You know what I mean? It's really,
his fever.
Yeah. It's fever. It should, and I think that, I think those two completely different.
Obafemi, when he came down at the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
When he came down at the pay-per-view, I had not seen him before. I don't watch NXT every week. I DVR it, and I've got a lot of weeks to catch up on. Mm-hmm. I said, again, that this guy looks like a monster. Mm-hmm. And he got killed in a lot of that match by smaller guys at the pay-per-view. Yeah, and it just didn't seem comfortable.
Most of it. Yeah.
For him. Yeah.
What's it? Him, Wesley, and dude from Coffee, Joe Coffee, or something like that.
Yeah, Joe Coffee.
Yeah. Wesley. Yeah, he had to take a lot from Wesley. It was like half his size.
Yeah, really. But he's another guy they shouldn't be able to knock down. He's so big.
I agree. Yeah. So I mean, Braun Strowman was even knocked down on Raw now. Like they're even.
I know. I'm going back to your advice here that the company needs to do what they used to do, even to build pay-per-views. It's okay to do the interviews, but when you're trying to get a guy over like Bron Breakker or Oba, you gotta give them a jobber that doesn't just put him in against Wild Bull Palmetti. I'm going back to the 60s, or Gordy Chihuahua. One of those guys. Yeah, you got to put him against a job bum.
You have to. If you think about it, like when Nia Jax first came on the main roster, she kept getting feeded to, like, a bunch of jobbers kept getting fed to her.
Yes, right.
Braun Strowman, when he first came, he kept getting fed jobbers, enhancement talent to make him look huge. Ryback was another person. He started off with two. He had two enhancement talent, and then they started beating three. You know what I mean? And so that it made him look huge, and fans got behind it.
That works. It works.
It works.
It makes you talk about him the next day.
Exactly. You're creating a perception. There's so much psychology in wrestling. That's why I love doing these things, because I talk about the psychology when it comes to wrestling. Here's the thing. You're creating someone like a Ryback who came out as a Skip Sheffield, who was, and tough enough. You're separating that by painting the perception of him being a killer. When you're painting that perception, it becomes reality. And so if you're painting the perception of he's a killer and having him go through three, enhancement talent saying feed me more, it's making him look like a killer. Right. And so if you're not doing that with someone like a Bron Breakker,
that's what they should
he's not being perceived as a killer. You know what I mean? So let the listeners know. Let the listeners know about all things.
I'm on TikTok now.
Nice.
Bill Apter. I'm at the Apter Chat on Twitter. I'm trying to get my old handle back after being hacked. We're working on that right now with Twitter. And also, don't forget that to go to sportskita.com/newsletter and subscribe to the newsletter. And every Wednesday is the Bill Apter special, top 10 rankings, match of wrestler of the week, Joe Lowry's rant, great artwork from Blake Perkins, previews and analysis. It's like the old magazines I used to do.
Nice. Yeah. We'll get to Robert here in just a moment. Special shout out to Enthusiastic Icy Comment. Really, really appreciate the compliment there. Very, very, very nice.
Which one is that?
He said, props to Dr. Chris for actually putting effort into background. Too many guys sitting in front of a bookshelf. So
wait a minute. What about my background here? Look at this. I got Bruno.
Can I have a moment, Bill, to get some props? I mean, you got 50 years of people putting you over, Bill. Can I have one moment by myself? Rollin $5. I heard people thought that Hogan was promoting a cryptocurrency called $, Hawk, which was a pump and dump. People don't know if he was hacked or not. Oh, it might have been something more than hacking.
No, I heard he was hacked. He tweeted out that he was, or not.
Well, he tweeted it. I mean, come on.
No. Somebody tweeted out like his business partner or something.
Okay, yeah, that doesn't.
He had been hacked.
Hulk Hogan or his business partner tweeting out that he was been hacked doesn't.
Well, why don't you look at his Twitter right now? See if it's there.
Yeah, well, it may be something else. I mean, yeah, with anything's possible in the realm of Hulk Hogan, brother.
That's right, brother. Yeah,
indeed.
yeah.
We got Bill Apter, we got Dr. Chris. This is Unscripted. Have a good night, buddy.
We'll see you at the matches.
PNP. Before PNP, well, I'm about to head over there. We're going to talk about. I'm stating case of why Drew McIntyre should win the World Heavyweight Champion. So come over to Pancakes and Power Slam.
You know what?
I didn't promote myself.
The lead in my newsletter is how they're going to screw Drew.
I'll be talking about that in a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night. So long.